Atma Atmamayaya Swachandatmatmamayaya Swachandatmatmamayaya Tani Me Shraddadhanasya Tani Me Shraddadhanasya Tani Me Shraddadhanasya Kirtanyani Anukirtaya Kirtanyani Anukirtaya Kirtanyani Anukirtaya Yadyad Vidhatte Bhagavan Swachandatmatmamayaya Tani Me Shraddadhanasya Kirtanyani Anukirtaya Yadyad Vidhatte Bhagavan Swachandatmatmamayaya Tani Me Shraddadhanasya Kirtanyani Anukirtaya. Yat Yat, whatever, Vidhatte, he performs, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Swachanda Atma, full of self-desire, Atma Mayaya, by his internal potency, Thani, all of them, Me, to me, Shraddadhanasya, faithful, Kirtanyani, worthy of praise, Anukirtaya, please describe. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, please precisely describe all the activities and pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is full of self-desire and who assumes all these activities by his internal potency. Kindly repeat. Therefore, please precisely describe all the activities and pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is full of self-desire and who assumes all these activities by his internal potency. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The word Anukirtaya is very significant. Anukirtaya means to follow the description, not to create a concocted mental description, but to follow. Shaunaka Rishi requested Suta Goswami to describe what he had actually heard from his spiritual master, Shukadeva Goswami, about the transcendental pastimes the Lord manifested by his internal energy. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has no material body, but he can assume any kind of body by his supreme will. That is made possible by his internal energy. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Mande Shri Gurum Deenataranam. Srila Madhvacharya appeared about 800 years ago in Pajaka Kshetra, and he performed many pastimes. He was of great bodily strength and great Vaishnava Acharya, defeated many Mayavadi philosophers. And Madhvacharya used to meditate, used to take bath often in the sea and meditate by the seashore near Udupi. We all know how Udupi has become very famous nowadays after Madhvacharya's time. So one day, while Madhvacharya happened to be meditating on the seashore, he saw that there was a ship which was going towards Dwaraka, and there was some danger to that ship. And Madhvacharya gave some signals by which the ship was saved. So the people who were the owners of the ship, they were very grateful to Madhvacharya and asked him, "We want to give you some gift. Please ask something from us." They were big merchants and they could see that Madhvacharya is a sannyasi, great saint. So they wanted to give something as a token of their gratitude. Madhvacharya told them, "I understand you are carrying some Gopi Chandan in your ship. So please give me one of those Gopi Chandans." So it so happened that in the Gopi Chandan that they were carrying, there was one large lump of Gopi Chandan. Madhvacharya took that and took it to the shore. And when they brought the Gopi Chandan, suddenly the Gopi Chandan broke. And inside the Gopi Chandan was a deity of Lord Krishna. So Madhvacharya personally carried the deity. It's said that to carry the deity, 30 people were required. But Madhvacharya was so powerful, he himself carried the deity and he installed the deity in Udupi itself. And that has become the famous Udupi Krishna temple. And then Madhvacharya entrusted the management of the temple to 8 of his disciples, and he created the Ashtamathas, and they have been managing the temple since then. After Madhvacharya, a few generations later, there was one Acharya who appeared in that Sampradaya. His name was Raghuvarya Acharya, Sripada Raghuvarya Tirtha. So this Raghuvarya Tirtha, when he was overseeing the administration of the Udupi temple, one day it so happened that they saw a new sannyasi had come to the Udupi temple. Now this sannyasi, by his dress and by his looks, they guessed that he was a Mayavadi sannyasi in the Shankara Sampradaya. And Shankara Sampradaya, they have Mayavada philosophy, and we have 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, Shri Sampradaya, then we have Brahma Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya. So all these 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas hold the philosophy that the Supreme Absolute Truth is a person, and Shankara Sampradaya people don't accept the form of the Lord as being transcendental. So the Shankara Sampradaya sannyasis and the sannyasis of the Vaishnava Sampradayas don't get along. So because these sannyasis of the Madhva Sampradaya, which was headed by Sripada Raghuvarya Tirtha at that time, they did not give attention, they did not entertain this sannyasi. Because they thought, Mayavadi sannyasi, why we should associate with him. So they didn't bother. He has come for darshan, let him have darshan and go. So when this sannyasi came in front of the deity of Udupi Krishna for darshan, when he came, suddenly he started singing and dancing and throwing his arms up in the air and Hari Bol, he was jumping. So these sannyasis were astonished. They thought, we thought this is a Mayavadi sannyasi, but he is exhibiting all Vaishnava symptoms. So then they went to him and started speaking to him. They asked him, who are you? Where are you from? So he said, my name is Krishna Chaitanya. This was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, during his 6 years when he was visiting various places, Prayag and Vrindavan and South India, during his South India tour, he also came to Udupi. And at that time, he met Sripada Raghuvarya Tirtha. At that time, the sannyasis in the Madhvacharya Sampradaya, they considered themselves to be very big scholars. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord himself. So he wanted to test them. He approached Sri Raghuvarya Tirtha and he asked him, I am not a very intelligent person. I am a very ignorant sannyasi. I don't know what is the sadhya and sadhana. Sadhya means what is the ultimate goal, and sadhana means what is the process to achieve that goal. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Raghuvarya Tirtha that please tell me what is the sadhya and sadhana shrestha. What is the ultimate goal of life and what is the best process to achieve that? Sripada Raghuvarya Tirtha, he replied that the best sadhana is to follow the varnashrama dharma and offer the results of all the activities of the varnashrama dharma to Krishna. This is the best form of sadhana. Sadhana shrestha. And sadhya shrestha, what is it that we achieve by this? By doing this, by offering all the results of our activities in varnashrama dharma, we will be able to attain mukti, one of the 5 kinds of mukti, and we will be able to attain Vaikuntha. And that attaining residence in Vaikuntha is the ultimate goal of life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, you are seeing that I am a simple sannyasi and you are cheating me, you are not telling me the truth. Why? Because he said all the scriptures, what are the scriptures saying? The scriptures are saying sadhya sadhana shrestha is something else. And then from the 7th canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted one verse which was spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. Shravanam kirtanam Vishnoho smaranam padasevanam archanam mandanam dasyam sakhyam atmanivedanam iti pumsarpita Vishnu bhaktischin navalakshana. So he said, this Shravanam Kirtanam, these 9 forms, bhaktischin navalakshana, 9 navavidha bhakti, offering the 9 kinds of devotional service to Vishnu or Krishna. Shri Krishna. Beginning with Shravanam and Kirtanam, hearing about and glorifying the activities, pastimes and qualities of the Supreme Lord, that constitutes the topmost sadhana. This is the best form of sadhana. And what is the sadhya? What is the ultimate goal of life to be achieved if we follow the process of Shravanam Kirtanam, the Navavidha Bhakti if we follow? What is the goal that we will attain? For that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted another verse from the 11th canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. Evam rataha swapriya nama kirtya jatanurago drutachitta uchchaihi hasatyatho roditi rauti gayatyunmadavan nrityati lokabahyaha. This verse of the Bhagavatam states that evam rataha, like this, when as a vrata, as a daily affair, when a devotee follows the process of hearing and chanting the holy names of Krishna and his pastimes and his qualities, evam rataha swapriya nama kirtya, especially chanting the holy names of the Lord, what happens? Jata anuragaha, one will develop attachment for Krishna. And dhruta chittaha, one's heart will melt in love for Krishna. And when one's heart becomes melted in love for Krishna by following the process of chanting the holy names of Krishna constantly and hearing them, what will happen? Uchchaihi, in a loud voice, Gayati, he starts singing. Hasati, he starts laughing. Nrityati, he starts dancing. Loka Bahyaha, without considering the external world. He becomes practically like a madman. So, when one comes to the stage of singing and dancing without consideration of the external world, exactly like a madman, then one would have developed the stage of Krishna Prema. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sripada Raghubadya Tirtha that you told that the sadhana is to follow the Varnashrama Dharma and offer the results to Krishna, and the sadhya, the goal to be attained is mukti. But what is Bhagavatam saying? The highest form of sadhana is to chant and hear the holy names of Krishna, and the highest goal of life is to attain Krishna Prema, not attain mukti. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, because the scriptures are condemning the process of fruitive work and the process of jnana. What you are saying, following the process of Varnashrama Dharma, involves, when you offer the results to Krishna, it is devotional service, but it is mixed with karma. Because in Varnashrama Dharma, you have to perform all kinds of karma, you have to perform all kinds of fruitive activities which are prescribed in the Vedas. This type of, we have to perform these types of yajnas, these types of tapasyas, these types of vratas, this type of dana we have to do, and when we do that, we'll get some result. And that result, so you are performing those activities to get some fruit, to get some result, and then that result you are offering to Krishna. So it is nevertheless, it is fruitive activity. And when you speak of mukti, mukti is aspired for by the jnanis. Although you are getting mukti and going to Vaikuntha, which is also devotional service, but your aspiration for mukti shows that your devotional service is tinged with jnana. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put forth his viewpoint. Now he has to also counter what Sripada Raghubadya Tirtha has said. So first, to counter the argument or the proposal of Sripada Raghubadya Tirtha that the topmost dharma, topmost sadhana is to follow Varnashrama Dharma, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted 3 verses. The first verse was from the 11th canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, which states, Ajnayaiva gunan doshan mayadishtanapi swakan dharman santyajya yaha sarvan mam bhaje sacha sattamaha. The Bhagavatam says, the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam says, Ajnayaivam gunan doshan. An intelligent man, he will, by analyzing the different processes of yoga, he will understand that gunan doshan, there are many gunas, many good qualities in following Varnashrama Dharma, but there are many doshas, many faults also. So what a person should do, mayadishtan api, even though the Varnashrama Dharma, all the rules and regulations and the duties of Varnashrama Dharma are enunciated by the Supreme Lord Himself, mayadishtan api, even though they are enunciated by the Supreme Lord Himself, santyajya sarvan, one who gives up Varnashrama Dharma, mam bhajet, and engages in devotional service to Krishna, Krishna Himself is saying, these are the words uttered by Lord Krishna to Uddhava in the 11th canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. So Krishna says, mam bhajet, one who engages in devotional service to me by giving up all the processes of Varnashrama Dharma, understanding all the faults and good qualities in it, sacha sattamaha, according to me, meaning according to Krishna, that person is the topmost person. Sattamaha, he is the best of all people. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu second, he quoted the 66th verse of the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Krishna said, the ultimate instruction of Krishna in the Bhagavad-gita, give up all your dharma, all the Varnashrama Dharma, give it up and surrender solely, exclusively unto Krishna. Then the third verse which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted, he said, that is also from the Srimad-Bhagavatam. Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeta yavata mat katha shravanadau yavan na jayate. So he said that as long as yavata na nirvidyeta, as long as one has not developed detachment from the desire to enjoy the fruits of one's actions, tavat karmani kurvita, one must engage in activities, fruitive activities which are prescribed in the varnashrama dharma. So, and if one has come to the stage of renunciation or vairagya, then one can give up the duties of varnashrama dharma. That means the duties of varnashrama dharma are not eternal. They are only meant to bring us to the point of renunciation or detachment. Or alternatively, mat kada shravanadau. If one has developed attachment, mat kata shravanadau shraddha yavanna jayate. If one has developed shraddha, faith or attachment to hearing about the qualities and the pastimes of Krishna, then also one can give up the duties of varnashrama dharma. So, following the duties of varnashrama dharma is not an eternal principle. So, that cannot be the highest sadhana. That was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted these three verses to demonstrate how the Shastras are actually saying, ultimately you have to give up varnashrama dharma. So, how can it be the topmost sadhana? And then when it comes to sadhya, what is the ultimate goal of life? Sripada Raghuvadya Tirtha had stated that attaining mukti and going to the Vaikuntha planets is the highest goal of life. To refute that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again quoted three verses. The first verse which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted was from the 5th canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. So this states that this is actually in relation to, I think it is related to the pastime of no, it is not from the 5th canto. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted from the 3rd canto, the pastime of Kapila Deva. So, in the Kapila Deva, in his instructions to Devahuti, he said, Salokya sarshti samipya sarupyaikyatvam diyamanam nagrinnanti vinamat sevanam janaha. Janaha, the devotees of Krishna, even if diyamanam, if they won't aspire for it, but even if they are offered by Krishna himself, that you take any one of the 5 kinds of mukti, salokya, sarshti, samupya, sarupya or aikya. Any one of these 5 kinds of mukti, even diyamanam, even if it is offered to them, nagrinnanti, the devotees are not interested to accept it. Vinamat sevanam janaha. If it entails giving up devotional service to Krishna, the devotees are not interested even in mukti. So, actually, if we look at the 5 kinds of mukti, one of the kinds of mukti is aikya or merging into Brahman. So, merging into Brahman is like hell for the Vaishnava. So, they don't even consider it as really a form of mukti. But if we consider the other 4 forms of mukti, salokya, attaining the same residence as the Supreme Lord in Vaikuntha. Salokya, samipya, to attain proximity to the Lord, to be always a close associate of Narayana. Then sarshti, to achieve opulence on a level equal to that of Narayana, and sarupya, to attain a form very similar to that of Narayana. So these 4 forms of mukti are considered not unfavorable to bhakti, but still the devotees are not interested in mukti of any sort if it is devoid of the devotional service to Krishna. So this is what Kapila Deva stated. Then again, in the 5th canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, there is a description of the pastimes of Bharat Maharaj, who was the son of Rishabhadeva. So about Bharat Maharaj, it is stated his qualities are described in the 5th canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted this verse. Yo dustyajan kshiti suta swajanartha dharan. So, there are certain possessions, opulences, which are very difficult to give up. Dustyajan. What are those? Kshiti. Kshiti means the earth. So, emperorship, to be able to rule over the world. If he becomes a king or an emperor, or let us say one becomes the president of a country or something like that, dustyajan, very difficult to give up. That is why you will see one person becomes a prime minister or a president of a country for 5 years or 4 years or whatever is the term he is elected. But at the end of it, he again runs for election. He wants to fight the election again and become president again. In the United States, currently the president is Joe Biden. He has crossed 80 years of age. And the next election for the president of the United States is coming up next year or the year after that. And he is saying, I want to contest again. Imagine if he becomes the president again, by the time he retires, he will be almost more than 85, 86 years old. So old, but doesn't want to give up. Another candidate for the presidential election in the United States is Trump. He is also more than 79 years old already. And by the time he becomes president, he would have crossed 80. But he is also very, very enthusiastic that I want to become again the president of the United States. He was already president of the United States once, but not enough. Want to again become. Why? Because dustyajan, it is very difficult to give up the rulership over the earth. Kshiti and then Suta, one's children. One cannot give up one's children. Attachment to the children is very strong. Kshiti, Suta, Swajana, and one's relatives. Nobody wants to give up one's relatives. Artha, the wealth one has earned. And Dharan, one's wife, one's spouse. So these are all extremely difficult to give up. And not only this, there is one more thing which is aspired for even by the denizens of the heavenly kingdoms. Suravaraihi. Suravarai, the topmost, the best of the demigods. They are also aspiring for something, because in the Swargalokas, in the heavenly planets where the demigods are living, there is ample amount of happiness, pleasure, and there is very little distress compared to this material world. And they rule like the demigods rule over the different planets for billions of years. Theirs is not a 5-year rulership. So they don't have to bother, in 5 years my term is getting over. They can rule for millions of years together. But still, even they have something to aspire for. What is that? That is prarthyam shriyam sadayavalokam. They are constantly aspiring, when will Shriyam, when will Lakshmi Devi sadayavalokam, when will she look upon me very mercifully? So even the best of the demigods are aspiring to get the grace, get the merciful glance of Lakshmi Devi, so that they can remain opulent. But then Bharat Maharaj, Naichan Ripas, Bharat Maharaj never had any attachment for any of these things. Although Bharat Maharaj was the emperor of the whole earth planet. At a very young age, he gave up everything. In the prime of his youth, he gave up everything. So what is very difficult to give up in this material world? Rulership over the world, one's beautiful wife, wonderful children, one's all the riches or royal riches in the palace, all these things which are dustyajan, very difficult to give up, Bharat Maharaj gave it up. Why? Tad uchitam. Actually, that behavior of Bharat Maharaj was tad uchitam. It was very appropriate. Tad uchitam mahatam. For the great devotees of Krishna, this is a very appropriate action. Why? Because Madhudvit, the Krishna is the enemy of the Madhu demon. So for the Madhudvit Sevanuraktam, for those who are attached to the devotional service of the enemy of Madhu, means those who are attached to the devotional service of Krishna, for such people, for them, abhavopi laguhu, for them, even the abhava, for mukti or liberation, even that becomes something which is very insignificant. So a devotee like Bharat Maharaj, for whom mukti is so insignificant, why will he be attached to wife and family and children and kingdom and the royal riches? He was not at all attached. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted this verse to inform, to demonstrate to Raghuvariya Tirtha that if one has really become a devotee, He is not even bothered about mukti. Abhavopi falguhu. For him, even mukti, it becomes very insignificant. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted the third, one more verse from the Srimad-Bhagavatam, which appears in the pastime of Chitraketu, which is described in the 6th canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. Chitraketu, he was a great devotee of Ananta, and it so happened that once when he was near Kailasa, he happened to see Lord Shiva seated with Parvati on his lap, and he was in the midst of many sages. So seeing this, Chitraketu knew that Lord Shiva is a great devotee, and he is the Vaishnavana Yatha Shambhu, who is the greatest, topmost devotee of Krishna, and that he is completely unaffected by these things, and he is not at all lusty. Chitraketu knew this, but he thought that, but what about the common mass of people? When they see Lord Shiva doing these kind of things, they will misunderstand him, and they will try to imitate him and engage in lusty affairs. So Chitraketu criticized Lord Shiva. What are you doing? Not criticizing Lord Shiva's action, but criticizing that if you act like this, what will happen? You will cause the ruination of the ignorant mass of people. That was Chitraketu's mood. But Parvati Devi misunderstood him, and she said, "Oh, you become so big that you are cursing, you are criticizing Lord Shiva. I will curse you that you become an asura." So when Parvati said like this, Chitraketu was, being a pure devotee, he could easily counteract Parvati Devi's curse, or he could have cursed Parvati Devi back. He could have got angry. He could have got upset, or he could have lodged a complaint with Shiva or with Parvati. What is this? I didn't mean this, that, and all those kind of things. Normally, if somebody comes and scolds us or chastises us, that's our first reaction. We want to give an explanation. We want to give an excuse, isn't it? But what was Chitraketu's response? He folded his hands, smiled, and said, "My dear mother, let it be so. Whatever you have said, let it be so." So Parvati Devi, when she saw this, she was stunned. She said, "I cursed him, and this is how he is receiving. I am not able to understand his character." Then Lord Shiva, glorifying Chitraketu, he quoted one verse. Narayana paraha sarvena kutaschana bibhyati swargapavarga narakeshvapi tulyartha darshinaha. He said, you cursed him because you don't know the position of Chitraketu. What is Chitraketu? He is Narayana para. He is a pure devotee of Narayana. And the characteristic of Narayana paraha sarve nakutaschana bibhyati. They are not afraid of any position, any situation, any circumstance. Why? Swarga apavarga narakeshvapi tulyartha darshinaha. For them, whether it is Swarga, heavenly planet, apavarga, liberation from this material world, mukti, or it is Naraka, hellish planets, for them, all of them are equal. They see all of them equally. Why? Because for them, for a devotee of Krishna, if he goes to Swarga, or he attains mukti, if he goes to the heavenly planets, or he attains liberation, but there is no opportunity for him to render devotional service to Krishna, then for him, that is as good as hell. And if he goes through the hellish planets, he goes through Naraka, and there he is able to chant and remember the holy names of Krishna, then for him, that is higher than Swarga and higher than mukti. So therefore, a devotee is not bothered whether he is in Swarga or Naraka, or he is a liberated, he is a Mukta Purusha. For him, what matters is devotional service of Krishna. And devotional service begins with Shravanam and Kirtanam. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said like this. When he said like this, Sripada Raghuvadya Tirtha was astounded. He was amazed at the pure devotion exhibited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he had no other go. He had to accept. He said, yes, what you are saying is true. But as a policy, we have to follow what Madhvacharya has taught us. And therefore, we are following this path of Varnashrama Dharma and striving to attain for mukti. But what you have said is true. Pure devotional service means it is devoid of even the desire for mukti and free from the activities of Varnashrama Dharma also. So, we have to understand the importance of Shravanam and Kirtanam. That was what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was emphasizing. The process of Shravanam and Kirtanam is unlike all other processes, even in devotional service. When devotional service is performed, as it is stated in the Vishnu Purana also, that Varnashrama Charavata Purushena Parapuman Vishnu Aradhyate. So the goal of Varnashrama Dharma is also to please Vishnu only. But then performance of devotional service to Vishnu within the constraints of Varnashrama Dharma constitutes Mishra Bhakti. Bhakti which is mixed with fruitive action. And when one performs a devotional service with a goal or a desire to attain mukti, then one's devotional service becomes mixed with jnana. But the process which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave, which has been handed down as it is by the Guru Parampara to us, and finally by Srila Prabhupada also taught us that the chanting and hearing of the holy name of Krishna, chanting and hearing the Srimad-Bhagavatam, chanting and hearing Bhagavad-gita, this is the cornerstone, this is the crux of devotional service. Srila Prabhupada never allowed any mixture of karma or jnana to enter into our devotional service. This is actually the unique gift of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. In no other Sampradaya you will get it. All other Sampradayas, you may get devotional service, bhakti, yes, but you will not get Ananya Bhakti. You will get Mishra Bhakti. And Mishra Bhakti will take you up to Mukti. But if you want Krishna Prema and you want to go to Goloka Vrindavan, then it is possible only on the platform of Ananya Bhakti, for which the highest way, the process, the highest sadhana to achieve that is Shravanam and Kirtanam. And that is why Prabhupada placed so much emphasis on Shravanam and Kirtanam. He instituted our sadhana in such a way that every day in the morning we have to wake up and we have to chant and hear 16 malas of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then we have to engage in Kirtan. And then we have to hear the Srimad-Bhagavatam. How much amount of Shravanam and Kirtanam Prabhupada has put into our life. And as if that is not enough, Prabhupada said every day, over and above this, we have to read one of our Prabhupada's books. So you see, how much Prabhupada has put the Shravanam into our lives. Actually, we don't realize it. But actually, in reality, that Shravanam is the topmost sadhana for attaining the topmost ultimate goal of life, which is to get Krishna Prema. And this hearing about Krishna and his pastimes from the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-gita and Chaitanya Charitamrita are all completely transcendental. They are beyond all material manifestation, all material activities. Normally in this material world, everybody is interested in hearing about the activities and qualities of some material personality. Some big politician, some big Bollywood star, some sportsman. We are all interested in hearing about the qualities and activities and words of such people. But, so what is the difference in hearing about Krishna? The activities appear similar. The reality is, as it is stated in the Shvetasvatara Upanishad, na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, parasya shaktir vivida iva shruyate, swabhaviki jnana balakriya cha. So, the Shvetasvatara Upanishad states that the Supreme Lord, Krishna, is a person, na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. He is not obliged to perform any duties within this material world, and he is not bound by his actions. Why? Because Parasya, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is beyond the purview of this material world, beyond the purview of the three modes of material nature. And therefore, when he performs activities, they are all on the transcendental platform, and anybody who hears and repeats those activities and pastimes of Krishna, they are also transported to that transcendental platform. And not only that, when we look at the activities of a person in the material world, they have to undertake so much effort to be able to perform those activities, and in performing those activities, they have to undergo so much anxiety. Whereas when Krishna performs his pastimes, even if it is killing an asura, or it is creating this whole universe, how does he do it? Swabhaviki jnana balakriyacha. They are all automatically performed by the energies of Krishna. Krishna doesn't have to undertake any big effort. He does not have to put any effort. Simply by his willing, the entire creation happens. Whatever Krishna wants to do, simply by his willing, he is able to perform. And in the performance of his activities, Krishna is totally free from all anxieties because Swabhaviki, naturally his energies are performing, carrying out whatever fulfillment of his desires are there. And therefore, Krishna is known as Swachanda Atma, as it is being described in today's words, that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is Swachanda Atma. That means he is completely free from anxiety and hard labor involved in performing his activities. All his energies are always ready to carry out his activities, and not only is he Swachanda Atma, he is Kirtanyani, he is worthy of glorification, and therefore Shraddha-dhanasya, one who is faithful, Anukirtaya, please describe. These are the words of Saunaka Rishi to Suta Goswami, that you please glorify Anukirtaya, so that we can hear Shravanam and Kirtanam. So the sages of Naimisharanya have understood that Shravanam and Kirtanam is the topmost sadhana. And therefore, if you see in the whole Srimad-Bhagavatam, it is constantly Shravanam and Kirtanam. Somebody is asking to hear, and somebody is Kirtana. He is performing Kirtana, he is glorifying Krishna and his pure devotees and their pastimes. Whole Bhagavatam is full of Kirtana and Shravana only. So therefore, the Bhagavata Vidhi is the process of Bhagavatam. The Bhagavata Vidhi is Shravanam and Kirtanam. The importance of Shravanam and Kirtanam cannot be understated. It is the most important, and we have to, understanding the importance of Shravanam and Kirtanam, we have to very seriously engage in the process of hearing and glorifying the Supreme Lord Krishna and his pastimes and his wonderful pastimes, which are described in the Srimad-Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-gita. And by this process, very quickly we can attain to the platform of Krishna Prema, love for Krishna, which is the ultimate goal of life, and which is what the Bhagavatam is also promising to deliver to us, and which Srila Prabhupada is also delivering to us. So I'll stop here. If there are any questions or comments, we can discuss. Anybody else? Mukunda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
If somebody is not situated in pure devotional service, then also he cannot attain the 4 types of mukti.
Then also?
It is not possible to attain the
It is not possible to attain the 4 types of mukti.
Is it not? Is it not like that?
Yeah, see, what happens is one has to be on the platform of bhakti. So if one is performing Mishra Bhakti, one can still attain mukti. One can attain mukti and go to Vaikuntha planets. So when one goes to Vaikuntha planets, one can go up to the stage of Bhava Bhakti. All those devotees who are in Vaikuntha Loka, they are also performing devotional service to Krishna. But when performing devotional service to Krishna, because they had a material motive, which is to attain mukti, therefore they can go only to Vaikuntha, and their love for Krishna gets limited by the feelings of awe and reverence. Aishwarya. The awe and reverence limits the love that a devotee can express. There are many constraints within which that love will be expressed, and that love can maximum go up to Vatsalya. It cannot go beyond that. Whereas if you look at the love which is displayed by the Vrajavasis in Goloka Vrindavan, it is completely of a different kind altogether. It is on the platform of Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous devotional service, completely free of all awe and veneration. So that pure devotional service to Krishna is actually Ananya Bhakti, which is not contaminated even by Aishwarya. So in Vaikuntha Loka, when one attains mukti, what happens? One's devotion to Krishna is contaminated in that sense. Not contamination is in a negative sense, but compared to the pure devotional service of the Vrajavasis, it is contaminated by the sense of Aishwarya, awe and reverence. Whereas in Goloka Vrindavan, even that is not there. It is completely pure devotional service to Krishna, devoid of anything else. That is possible to be achieved only by the process of Bhagavata Vidhi, by the process of Shravanam and Kirtanam.
Generally, when we use the word Mishra, we refer to contamination of 3 modes.
No, not necessarily 3 modes. When we say Mishra Bhakti means desire to either perform some activity which involves fruitive results, like Karma Yoga, or it may involve the desire for Mukti. Even both of them are called Mishra Bhakti. Those are called Mishra Bhakti. And in fact, Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gita, talks about Mishra Bhakti in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita. Artho jitnasur artharti jnani cha bhartarshava. What is Krishna talking about? They are all Mishra Bhakti. When one performs devotional service with a desire to become free of some distress, or when one wants some material position or material wealth, or one is inquisitive, one wants to know about spiritual subject matter, or one wants to attain mukti, that is a jnani. In these 4 cases, when one performs devotional service, it is Mishra Bhakti. That is the definition given by Krishna. Okay. So anybody else? We'll stop here. Grantharaj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.